Good evening, everyone. Kalla here. Welcome to my live stream. Glad you could make it today. So today, variable barricade. I think we should definitely finish this time because my throat is basically recovered. Hooray! Last time we had a hell of a lot of really dense Nayata, but he may have twigged it. Although I keep saying that, and it keeps not being true. I'm not entirely certain he has figured out what his feelings actually mean. But I'm sure he will soon. Hello Drag, hello Nick, how are you doing? Only if these final squares— yes. Only if these final squares don't take super long, that is true. Here's hoping. I mean, the previous few did actually take quite a while, but we've got some small ones. Some small ones, then the big event, then I'm assuming this is the good ending. And if we end up here, I have a problem. I'm glad you're recovered, Drag. And I am doing fine. I believe I am fully recovered now. I could be wrong. But I've been feeling so much better today. Oh, I mean, I do want to get all the CGs. Oh, I do. But that will probably be an off-stream— unless we accidentally end up here and I have to go and fix some answers after loading a previous save, then I'll be looking at this part off-stream. So, unwanted marriage. Grandfather goes full tyrant and decides on my fiancé for me. I'm too shocked to act, but Nayata isn't. Oh, Grandfather! It was the day after Nayata and I went to the cafe. I got ready for school and went down to the living room where something immediately caught my eye. Nayata was in a suit.
その格好は？
あ、
Nayata fidgeted like he was caught off guard by my question.
それがおじさん、ご当主様の用事でどうしてもおそばを離れられないらしくて、だから今日だけは俺が護衛していいって言われて。
そうなの？
はい、そうなんです。
What was going on? I felt so embarrassed for some reason. It's not like this is an embarrassing conversation or anything. And yet, I couldn't look Nayata in the eye. He looked down slightly while keeping an eye on me, as if he were feeling the same thing.
あ、じゃあ今日は
こんなところでお見合いしてたら朝ごはん冷めちゃうよ。ごめんね。驚かせるつもりはなかったんだけど。でもほら、一夜がそわそわする前にね。
Shion had a big grin on his face as he led us into the dining room. On our way over, I thought about what Nayata said. Nayata's my bodyguard for today. That means we'll get to spend more time together than usual. Thinking about it brought a smile to my face. I then quickly patted my cheeks so he wouldn't notice it.
なんか久々だと緊張しちゃいますね。
shy smile crept onto Nayuta's face.
でも安心してください。ひばりさんのことはしっかり守りますから。
ええ、ありがとう。
どうかしました？
He gave me a strange look, and I realized I'd been unconsciously staring at him.
あ、いえ、今日は仕事モードじゃないんだな。
I should have said that because I was thinking that too. I was like, that's not work mode. That's Nayuta mode.
すいません。俺うるさかったですか？
違うの、そうじゃなくて。そうじゃなくて。ただ前と雰囲気が違ったから。
ああ。
He forced a smile, but then it gradually relaxed into a genuine one.
もしひばりさんが前の方がいいって言うなら戻しますけど、今はなんか違う気がして。身を守ることももちろん大事ですけど、でもそれだけじゃなくて、ひばりさんが肩の力を抜けるようにお手伝いできたらって。もちろん護衛の仕事もきちんとやります。気は張ってますから大丈夫です。
His honest smile dazzled me so much that I had to look away for a moment. My cheeks felt hot. My heart ached. Oh man, Hibari's gonna have to walk into school with her with her feelings all like this. It's just like he said yesterday at the cafe. He was trying his best to make me happy. He wanted to see me smile. And that's all he was thinking about. He was just there for me. When I thought about it that way, my chest tightened and I could barely look at his face. Hope too many people don't call her out on it. Well, I'm pretty sure one person is gonna call her out on it. I really want to tell him. I didn't know if he'd heard what I'd whispered. However, I could sense that he was smiling as he sat next to me.
それじゃあ行ってらっしゃい、ひばりさん。また放課後お迎えに上がりますね。
Admittedly, there's probably also going to be a bunch of students like, oh, your attractive bodyguard is back, huh? Nayuta waved goodbye to me, beaming from ear to ear. I smiled back and made my way through the school gates. Tsumugi was waiting for me, looking completely stunned at what she just saw.
八神さん、もしかして護衛に復帰されましたの？今日だけ。詳しいことは教室で話すわ。早く行きましょう。あ、ええ。
I feel like today is going to be a great day. All because of Nayuta. At least, that's what I should have thought. But my optimistic bubble burst after school. Maybe Nayuta's already waiting for me. Gotta get there. What?
那由他くんは？
I looked at Kasuga, puzzled. Kasuga just opened the car door with his usual calm.
まずはお車へ。
I reluctantly got into the back seat and Kasuga directed the driver to immediately start the car.
ねえ、なえたくんはどうしたの？今日は彼が私の護衛につくって。
Yeah, he was supposed to be sticking to me all day. I couldn't stop myself from asking about Nayata again. Kasuga then bowed his head slightly.
申し訳ありません、ひばり様。事情が変わりまして、八神様は現在自宅待機です。
Waiting at home?
本日の予定はすべてキャンセルし、このまま鎌倉の本家へ向かわせていただきます。大旦那様から連絡が。急ぎのご用件があるそうです。
そう。
Looks like I got my hopes up for nothing. To make matters worse, Grandfather called this urgent meeting. That alone gave me a bad feeling. It turned out my intuition was right on the money.
よく聞け、ひばり。正式にお前の婚約者を決めた。
Boo! I was supposed to choose.
は？
Grandfather and I were the only ones in the room. I think it took at least 10 seconds for his words to truly sink in. He officially chose my fiance.
はあ？
I felt like yelling was a pretty natural response to the situation.
決めたっておじいさまがですか？いきなりどうしてそんなことになるんです？
決まっとるじゃろう。お前がいつまで経っても新たな婚約者を選ばんからじゃ。分家の干渉を断つのもそろそろ限界。時間は十分に与えたというのに、まったく。
It was a low blow. But he was right. I think I'd been avoiding the reality of the situation. But...
俺バカだから、どうしたらもっとひばりさんの役に立てるか考えてもわかんなくて。だから思ったんです。ひばりさんが笑ってくれることを基準に動こうって。だから俺、今は雑用係でよかったです。ひばりさんのためになることなら何でもできるから。
pulled the rug out from under me. I couldn't think about anyone else while he was on my mind. But that was nothing more than an excuse.
誰を選んだんですか？私の婚約者として。
そんなのは決まっとるじゃろう。あの3人の中の誰かじゃ。
そうじゃなくて、もっとちゃんと。
Yeah, tell me exactly who you picked, Gramps.
知りたいか？
当たり前です。
それはの。
それは？
秘密じゃ。
Evil old vulture! I cursed him inwardly. This was not the time nor place for his sly games.
なあ、そう睨むな。心配せんでもクリスマスにはわかることじゃ。
Damn it, Gramps. Oh, cryptic.
クリスマス？
その日にお前の正式な婚約者の発表パーティーを開く予定じゃからの。
Christmas has just gotten, why don't we know? Because I'm too slow playing. We would have known before Christmas if I'd been able to push through last week.
つまり
婚約者の正体は当日までのお楽しみということじゃな。
私は全然お楽しみじゃありませんが。
It does not seem polite to tell her at the same time you're telling the entire family, basically. Or like maybe an hour before or something.
こうでもせんと、お前はあの手この手でこの問題から逃げようとするじゃろうが、手段が荒いことは認めよう。じゃが、これが最良の判断じゃ。
そんな。
わしからの話はこれでしまいじゃ。残り少ない独り身の時間を楽しむがよいぞ。
What's all grandfather said before leaving the room?
正式な婚約者。
The option of abandoning the family still on the table. Yeah, but I don't think Hibari would do that. I think she has too much of a sense of responsibility. I muttered to myself in disbelief at the reality that had been thrust upon me. Later, I could tell Kasuga was concerned about me as we went back to the house. It seemed like he'd known about the situation beforehand.
Okaeri. なかなか帰ってこないからどうしたのかと思ってたんだ。
あ、それはなゆたくんは？
ああ、なゆたなら今買い出しに。
ひばりちゃん、どうしたの？顔色が良くないみたいだけど。
I flinched in surprise at how quickly he saw through me. What do I say? How should I tell them? I should have been able to say something, but I couldn't find the words.
ひばりさん？
今日おじいさまに呼び出されて、それで。おじいさまが私の正式な婚約者を決めた。
え？
All three of them were shocked. I began to tell them what had transpired between grandfather and me.
なるほど。そうだったのか。いや、しかし困ったな。確かに選んでもらったことは嬉しい。けれど今この状況で婚約者になって、俺は素直に喜べるのか。
I'm pretty sure that's just Ichia's general assumptions again.
でも俺はひばりさんを、おじいさまのお眼鏡にかなってしまった自分が憎い。
おい、誰がお前だって言ったよ。
そうだよ一夜、空気読んで。今は妄想も冗談も言ってる場合じゃないでしょ。
いや、これは本心。
にしても急すぎじゃない？僕そんな話一言も聞かされてないんだけど。
ああ、俺もだぜ。マジであのじいさん何考えてんだよ。
俺たちも話を聞かせてもらうべきかもしれないな。
But just then,
そちらの件に関してですが、ご説明が遅れてしまい 申し訳ありませんでした。
Kasuga walked into the living room and calmly bowed his head.
花婿候補の皆様には私の方からご説明させていただきます。どうぞ。
Seeing Kasuga gesture to the open door, I impulsively shouted.
ちょっと待って。何か事情があるの？だったら私にも聞かせて。私にだって聞く権利があるでしょ？
Yeah, right? We should include us in the conversation.
申し訳ありませんが、大旦那様のご意向ですので。では。
ちょっと。
The three boys followed Kasuga with apologetic looks on their faces. In the end, I was left alone in the living room. What's going on? Just what wish is he talking about? Kasuga is always like this. He takes grandfather's side only when it's actually important.
もう誰も信じられない。
Absolutely no one. But what if Nayuta heard about this? If he did, would he be on my side? I'm not so sure about that. After all, he was the first to encourage me to pursue the other three boys.
ああ、とうとう決まるんですね。おめでとうございます。俺すっごくワクワクします。
He congratulated me enthusiastically like that. I don't think my heart could take it. Although Tsumugi did say Nayuta was exceedingly thick-headed and just didn't realize his feelings for me. But ultimately, I couldn't even figure that out. What does Nayuta think of me?
今はなんか違う気がして。身を守ることももちろん大事ですけど、でもそれだけじゃなくて、ひばりさんが肩の力を抜けるようにお手伝いできたらって。
It hurts to know he's trying to take care of me. But I didn't know he was doing that because he liked me. Or maybe it was because I was his master. That could be it. If so... Just when I was feeling dejected...
ただいま。
He's back? Why right now? Because you need cheering up, Hibari. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, I broke out in a cold sweat. I could hear the sound of footsteps coming down the hallway closer and closer. What do I do? I can't run away now. What should I do? How should I act?
八神那由他、ただいま戻りました。バッチリ牛乳と食パンとチョコ。ってひばりさん、本家に用事って聞いたんですけど、もう帰ってきてたんですね。あれ？でも一人ですか？一夜さんたちは？
それは
まあ、せっかく頼まれたもの買ってきたのに、どこ行っちゃったんだろう。ひばりさん知ってます？
ええ、春日に呼び出された。
へえ、春日さんに。ひばりさん？
何
He just stared at me as I involuntarily backed away from him.
何かあったんですか？
何かどうして急に？
だってなんか元気ない感じがするし。
He's so good at reading her mood. Such a good boy.
もし何かあるなら言ってください。俺役に立てることなら何でもします。だから お願いします。
His intense gaze made me hesitate for a moment. Should I tell him? How would he respond? Would I get a proper answer back? I didn't know. I had absolutely no clue. I was at my limit right now. I couldn't stand that there were so many things I didn't understand anymore.
ねえ、那由他君、あの3人のことどう思う？
どうって？
もし私があの中の誰かと結婚したら、私は幸せになれると思う？
Barry is talking very quietly.
那由他君の意見を聞かせてほしくて。どう思う？那由他君？那由他君！
I think we broke him. His eyes opened wide like he had come to his senses.
あ、大丈夫です。ちゃんと聞いていましたから。誰と結婚するかって話ですよね。
What should I do now? I clearly embarrassed him. I felt a rush of regret when I saw the bewildered look on his face.
ごめんなさい。気にしないでいいから、ちょっと聞いてみただけだから。
あ、違うんです。そうじゃないんです。みんないい人ですし、時間もたっぷりありますし。
Well, unfortunately, Nayuta, there is a rush now.
だからひばりさんももっとゆっくり時間をかけて決めた方が。
ないの。
え？
時間はもうないの。
それどういうことですか
Nayuta's face tensed up. I averted my gaze from his and looked down.
さっき本家で言われたの。私の代わりにおじいさまが誰を婚約者にするのか決めたって。でも彼らも初耳だったみたい。おじいさま以外は誰が婚約者に選ばれたのか知らないの。
Grandfather and possibly Kasuga.
そんな急に？いや、そんなことはどうでもいい。ひばりさんはいいんですか？それでいいんですか？
His eyes were sincere as he questioned me. I said, I'm not. I'm pretty sure the answer is I'm not. Yeah.
よくない。全然よくない。急だし、横暴だし、あのクソじじい絶対に許さない最悪って思ってる。
なら。
でも一番悪いのは自分だもの。ずるずる引き伸ばして誰も選べなかった自分。
But I actually did choose one of them. Nayuta. The guy right in front of me. And yet, he had no clue. He thought I chose him as my bodyguard, not my fiancé. And that's what he still thought. So, I'll just have to pretend none of that ever happened. All of it. My feelings, too. Just everything. None of it ever existed. I desperately told myself that's what I'd do and forced a smile.
でも私は運がいいのかも。みんな癖は強いけど悪い人たちじゃないし、全然知らない人と結婚するより。
ダメです。 ひばりさんのその笑顔はなんか違うんです。俺はひばりさんにそんな風に笑ってほしくない。
I looked into his serious eyes and bit my lip, unable to say anything. You'll be okay. Just relax. I took a deep breath and tried to speak as calmly as I could.
私が何と言おうと、これはもう決定事項なの。クリスマスには婚約者のお披露目パーティーをすることになってるみたいだし。
でもひばりさんはそれでいいんですか？
おじい様の決定には逆らえないから。
でも
ごめんなさい、ナイタ君。私、そろそろ着替えてこなくちゃ。
ちょっと待ってください。
I looked down at my feet and hastily made my way to the door. I want to do this. If I'd continued to talk with him, I surely would have said something I didn't want to. I'd probably complain and then end up saying something I couldn't take back. I was sure I'd embarrass him. I'm sorry, Naita.
ひばりさん。
I wish.
ナイタ君だったらよかったのに。
However, he wasn't a suitor anymore. So there was absolutely no chance of him becoming my fiancé. But why? All I could do was clasp my hands together tightly and try to hold back the tears welling up in my eyes. Okay, what have we got? A Samugi event. And possibly a Naito mode event. Let's go talk to Samugi. One last memory. I waver between my feelings for Naita and my upcoming engagement. Samugi offers me some advice. One gloomy morning, I'd been feeling depressed ever since Grandfather told me he'd decided my fiancé for me. Only a few days left now. There you go. How long until Christmas? Not long at all. And then to top it all off...
おはようひばりさん。今日も君のためにとっておきのスペシャルモーニングを用意したよ。はい、君が愛してやまないイチゴをたっぷり使ったフルーツサンド。俺の思いと同じように甘酸っぱいかな。
ねえひばりちゃん、最近寒くなって乾燥してるし、エステにでも行かない？知り合いのエステティシャンが全身きれいにしてくれるって。
お嬢、出かけるなら俺とだよな。冬の海も意外と面白いし、他にも知らなそうなところにいろいろ。
Boys had been talking my ear off all morning.
おいお嬢、聞いてんのか？デートの誘いだぜ。返事しろ。
Leave me alone!
一体何のつもりなの？全員で寄ってたかって。
Tiger grinned with satisfaction when he heard my cry of frustration.
おいおい、いいのかよお嬢。そんなひどい顔見せちまって。分かってんだろ？俺たち3人のうちの誰かはお前の未来の旦那なんだぜ。
Yeah, you've all already seen her pissed off. This isn't new. This crap again! Lately the guys have been like this day and night. They played it cool for a while, but now they were coming on strong, bringing up stuff like fiancé and marriage at every opportunity. ever since Kasuga explained what was going on. What in the world did Kasuga tell them? And no matter how many times I asked, the answer was the same. I can't tell you. When I asked the boys who the fiancé was, all three of them said in unison, "We don't know, they haven't told us anything." I was sick of hearing all those answers, yet they echoed in my mind. So, I decided to vent my frustrations.
というか、今さら全員がこんなことしたって無駄じゃない。決定が覆ることはないんだから。
おお、お嬢はそう思うか？だが実際は逆だぜ。俺たちは誰が婚約者に選ばれるのか知らねえからな。自分が選ばれてもいいように絶賛準備中なんだよ。
準備？
ああ、そうだ。お嬢だってもともと好感度が高い相手ならそれなりに受け入れられんだろう。
Easier time embracing it. His words left me stunned for a moment. Embrace. As a fiancé and as a partner in marriage. That's why they're here, for that privilege. But surely they figured out I have feelings for Nayuta. And yet they're still insisting on marrying me. I knew they had their reasons, though. But still. Just then...
イチェさん、頼まれたお店のお味噌、ちゃんと買ってきましたよ。
It's Nayuta. I looked up, startled by his booming voice.
はい、イチェさん、どうぞ。
なゆた、もう帰ってきたのか？この店かなり遠いはずじゃ。
He's fast.
はい、なんでちょっとダッシュして。あ、ひばりさん、おはようございます。
He gave me a big grin. I relaxed and smiled back. Unless they plan to get you so annoyed at them that we go shout at Grandpa. Who knows?
おはよう、なゆたくん。今朝もお使いに。
よーしなゆた、よく買い出しできたな。偉いぞ。よーし、よしよしよし。
ありがとうございます。それでひばりさん、今何か言いかけてましたよね。どうしたんですか？
ええ、今日。
ねえひばりちゃん、このヨーグルト食べてみて。口当たりが滑らかで食べやすいよ。
そうなんだ。そのヨーグルトにはこの梨のジャムが合うと思って用意したんだよ。
Don't try to appeal to me with puns, Ichia.
ほら、食べてみて。
どんどん食べて。
You stupid boys! They were ramping up their aggressive come-ons, which prevented me from talking to Nayuta. Yet another bit of puzzling behaviour. They've been acting stranger and stranger ever since Kasuga spoke with them. Since they're not going to give it a rest this morning, neither will I.
ねえ、なゆたくん。
はい。
今日の登下校なんだけど。
あー、なゆた、次は庭行ってこい。庭行って雑草全部抜いてこい。
わかりました。けど今ひばりさんが。
いいからほらさっさと行け。
Poor Nayuta. Nayuta tried to turn his attention back to me, but Tiger kicked him out of the dining room. Alright, hope you feel better soon, Nick. See ya. Posh! What is up with these stupid boys? I whipped my head around to glare at them. I felt filled with hatred.
あ、いや、
久々に見たかも。その表情。
たくそんな睨むなっつの。気になったんだからしょうがねえだろ。雑草。
What kind of pathetic excuse is that? I exhaled with a sharp sigh, then roughly pushed my chair back.
もういい。学校に行く。
Just before leaving the dining room, I glared at them once more for good measure. Seriously, though, what is their deal? I stepped outside with a grumpy scowl on my face. Kasuga looked up from getting the car ready. At the same time, Kojiro strode over to me.
おや、いつもよりお早いですね。
ええ、もう行くわ。
Kojiro looked taken aback by my gruff tone, but nodded. Then his face clouded with a nervous expression.
では、行ってらっしゃいませ、ひばり様。
Hello, Gabby. How you doing?
ええ。
Right before I got in the car, I shot Kasuga a look filled with resentment. Traitor. But Kasuga was all smiles.
何か
なんでもない。
Ultimately, my attempt to snap at Kasuga fell spectacularly flat. So I had to go to school with all that frustration building up inside me. That day, after school, Harimura was annoyed, but I still thanked her for letting us into the cafeteria. It was definitely time for some girl talk.
で、婚約者が決定してから何日か経ったけど、何か進展あったわけ？
I frowned and shook my head at her.
なんにも。あれ以来、おじい様との連絡が取れないし、絶対わざとだけど。裏切り者の春日も口を割らないし、護衛もずっと小次郎さんだし。花婿候補の3人もすごく変。那由他君と話そうとするといちいち邪魔してくるんだから。
困りましたわね。ここまで逃げ道がないと。
As Tsumugi and I sighed, Harimura calmly spoke up.
つか、どう考えてもきついよね。絶対的権力者の当主直々の指名で、しかもパーティーの準備も進行中。ぶっちゃけ積んでると思う。ちょっと有村さん。
Tsumugi was irritated by what Harimura said, but I shook my head slightly at her.
いいの。本当のことだもん。
ひばり様。
本当は全部自分が悪いって分かってる。那由他君が花婿候補じゃないと分かってからずっと混乱してた。戸惑って悩んで手になってそれで全部忘れてたの。分家の問題もお見合いの話も全部。時間がないことは分かってたの。
Despite all that, I couldn't give him up. I couldn't stand that he was going to leave me, and I couldn't think about anything else but him.
だからおじい様の決断はある意味どうする。
ひばり様、辛いお気持ちはわかりますわ。ですがどうか諦めないでくださいな。
I looked at her when she said that. Tsumugi's face was full of worry.
確かにおじい様のおっしゃることに従う方が東条家の跡継ぎとしては正しいのかもしれません。
ですがひばり様は本当にそれで納得できるんですの？あなたのお話を聞く限り諦めるのはまだ早い。私きっと何かきっかけがあれば八神さんも自分の気持ちに気づかれるはず。
Maybe this will be the right moment. I mean, we did need something serious to break through Nayata's really thick skull.
それに何よりあなたは八神さん以外の男性を受け入れることができますの？
It's going to object like someone at a wedding. No, I'm feeling kidnap. Like just pick me up and run, you know. Well, pick your Barry up and run.
でも実際問題、どう考えても無理でしょ。周りは固められてるし、逃げ道ない。今さらできることなんて言っても、せいぜい思い出作りに告白するとか、それくらい。
それですわ。
Ruki's eyes flew open and she suddenly seemed really intense. Haramura and I just stared at her. She ignored our reaction and spoke out passionately.
よろしいですか、ひばり様。これはあなたに残された最終手段。八神さんに思いの丈をすべてぶちまけるのです。え？本当は婚約なんてしたくない。だって八神さんが大好きだから、あなた以外考えられないと。
Sumigi, do you think this girl can say that? Because I think she would get really embarrassed halfway through that sentence.
この言葉で全てが決まるやも。ちょっと待ってよ、紬。
I struggled to calm her down. I heaved a sigh and then spoke.
気持ちを伝えるって、今さらそんなことして何の意味があるの？もう全部決まってるのに。
東条の言う通りだよ。今そんなこと言われても、那由他さんだって困るでしょ。
Sumugi just giggled at us unfazed.
果たしてそうでしょうか。確かにひばり様にとってこの告白は一つのけじめという意味合いが強いでしょう。ですが八神さんにとってはどうでしょう。確かに彼の明確な気持ちは不明です。まあ私はあなたラブだと確信しておりますが、どちらにしろあなたへの好感度が相当高いのは一目瞭然です。少なくともふぶ咲きはしてますわね。そんな彼があなたから告白を受けたらどうって
Popped my head to the side in confusion, and Sumugi grinned widely at me.
暴走体質の八神さんですもの。自分の気持ちに気がついたらその思いが大爆発して、想像の斜め上を行く方法で救ってくれる気がしません？例えば駆け落ちとか。駆け落ち？
Yes. Me and Nayuta?
ひばりさん、俺と一緒に逃げてください。
那由他くん？
お願いします。いろんなものを捨てさせてしまうことになるけど、でも俺絶対にあなたを幸せにします。だから
那由他くん、私。
さあ、この手を取って一緒に行くって言ってください。
みたいなことあるわけないでしょ。それはわかりませんわよ。何しろ相手はあの八神さん。やればできる子。私はそう信じてますわ。
She clenched her fists with determination, while Aramura sighed with exasperation.
でもまあ、よく考えると告白はしてもいいかもって気はしてきた。相手を困らせようがなんだろうが、やっぱ言いたいことってあるじゃん。それってやっぱり口に出さないとすっきりしないし、言うなら婚約前の今しかないでしょ。
ひばり様、有村さんの言う通りですわ。これはあなたにとって大切な初恋ですもの。それをこんな形で終わらせるのは悲しすぎます。大切な思いを隠して遠ざけてなかったことにして、そんなことをしたら、いえ、絶対に一生後悔しますわ。ですからね、ここが頑張りどころですわよ。
最後の最後なんだしさ、女見せなよ、登場。
Her strong and supportive advice nearly made me burst into tears. Yeah, that's right. I'm not finished yet. Even if it didn't do anything, even if it bothered him. Despite all that, before I give up on absolutely everything,
私、頑張ってみる。絶対に後悔はしたくないから。
as I felt the anticipation build up inside me, the girls nodded at me with encouragement. After parting with Tsumugi and Arimura, as I walked to the car waiting by the school gates, I told myself one more time, you got this. Once you get home, you're going to have a proper talk with Nayuta. You're going to tell him how you feel, and then...
ひばり様、お疲れ様でした。
Startled, I looked up and saw Kojiro smiling at me.
どうぞ、参りましょう。
ええ。
Are the others going to allow us to have a talk with him? Probably not. Is he going to be actually at home when we get there? Possibly not. As soon as I got in the car, I started thinking about my plan again. In order to tell Nayuta how I feel, I need to get the two of us alone first. But considering how things went this morning, I was sure the boys would interfere again. What if it were just Nayuta and I in the house? Maybe I could do something clever to get the others... My thoughts were suddenly interrupted. I'd been absently staring out of the window, but now I was paying closer attention. This isn't the way we usually go. But I did recognize the road. I had taken it many, many times.
ねえ、この車、どこに向かってるの？
Are we going to the family estate again?
ああ、そうですね。
Kojiro hesitated for a moment.
もうバレちまったみたいですね。ええ、お察しの通り、鎌倉の本家に向かってます。
Well, that will scupper our plans to try and have a talk with Nayuta, won't it?
本家に？
ええ、ご当主様のお達しで、婚約者披露パーティー当日まで本家で過ごすようにと。
I thought as much. I thought as much. Nayuta, you're going to have to be a knight rescuing a princess at this point.
今日から？
ええ、そうです。
No way! Blood drained from my face. My hands began to tremble. Why? Of all the things that could happen. Why today? I felt like I couldn't breathe. I struggled to make sense of these plans that were preventing me from talking to Nayata. Just message him on Wiz. Message him and tell him to come save you. I thought I had one last chance. How easily it was destroyed. If they take me to the family estate and keep me there, then surely I would never see Nayata again.
お願いだから一度別邸に戻って。その準備だっていろいろあるし。
I desperately tried to grab onto any excuse, but Kojiro just smiled at me.
ご安心ください。準備なら春日君がすべて済ませてあります。
Kasuga, you traitor.
別邸に忘れたものがあれば私が取りに行きますよ。
Oh no. This was really happening. I mean, I wasn't going to go with the tell him your feelings over text. I was going to go with just basically like Nayata help. Is this really the end of it all? It didn't matter what I said or what reason I gave. I was sure to get shot down. It was like they were saying to me, no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, we're not letting you get away. But I'd finally figured out what to do. Why now? I bit my lip, trying to hold back tears as the car made its way to the family estate. Reason for the lone struggle. Nayata makes a valiant effort to stop my engagement. It doesn't look promising. I suspect this will be what Nayata was doing the same day.
あ、待ってください。せめてもう一度話を。あ。
I slumped over in disappointment as they mercilessly slammed the gate. Bahari said she couldn't go against her grandfather. I thought this was going to be easy if only he would have reconsidered.
何を言っとるんじゃ。なゆた、お前にこの婚約に物申す資格なんてないじゃろ。何？せめてもう少し時間を。無理じゃな。婚約パーティーの準備は着々と進んでおる。今さら変更することはできん。仮に時間を与えたとしても無駄に終わるじゃろうしな。
I thought he would be a lot more understanding once we talked, but he completely brushed me off. Guess it wasn't going to be easy after all. But if I don't do something, Hibari is gonna...
時間はもうないの。おじい様の決定には逆らえないから。
I didn't want Hibari to look like that. I didn't care if I had to do odd jobs or bodyguarding or whatever. I made up my mind I would only do things to make Hibari happy. Plus, if I can't figure this out, Hibari will get engaged. Just thinking about that made my heart ache. Apparently, my illness continued to progress.
急がなきゃ。俺いつ死ぬかわかんないし。
He still thinks it might kill him, huh? It was incurable after all. So far, I only had symptoms when I thought about Hibari. trying to convince her grandfather was a dead end. Now all I can do is...
突然ごめんなさい。皆さんに一生のお願いがあるんです。
一生のお願い？
When I got home, I immediately got Ichiro and the guides together and pleaded with them like my life depended on it. Because it did.
来週のクリスマスパーティーでとうとうひばりさんの婚約者が発表されますよね。
うん。それで？
勝手に決められたことですし、ひばりさん、それを受け入れる心の準備が整ってないみたいなんです。だから誰が指名されても一度返事は保留にしてもらえませんか？本当に少しの間だけでいいんです。この通りです。どうかお願いします。
何甘いこと言ってんだ？
I could tell by Tiger's tone of voice that he was planning something mischievous. I looked up at him and saw he had a smug expression on his face. So did Ichiro and Shion.
いいかい、ナイルタ。俺たちは仲良し家族ごっこをするために一緒に生活していたわけじゃない。
彼女の花婿の座を争うため、それを忘れたわけじゃないでしょ。
それは。
お嬢はあの通りウブで頑固だし、このままじゃ花婿なんて永遠に決まらねえ。なら今回選ばれたやつの一人勝ちで終わり。それでいいじゃねえか。
というわけで悪いけれど、君の一生のお願いは聞けないな。
僕もごめんね、ナユタ。
そんな、ひばりさんの気持ちを無視するって言うんですか？
ナユタ、第一お前もう花婿候補じゃねえだろ。お嬢の婚約に口出ししたところで部外者がわめいてるようにしか聞こえねえぞ。
He hit the nail on the head. Nearly shut me up too, but then I said,
そんなこと分かってます。でも俺はそれでもひばりさんのことを守りたいんです。
口だけは立派だね。でもそれは君にとって彼女が理想のご主人様だからでしょ。
そして君はその命令に従い動いているだけ。悪いけれどそれじゃ説得力が。
違います。
I shouted and pushed back against what they were saying.
確かに最初はそうでした。でも今は違います。うまく言えないんですけど、とにかく違うんです。俺は命令で動いてるんじゃない。ひばりさんの悲しそうな顔をもう見たくないだけなんです。たとえひばりさんが本音を押し殺しても黙っていろと命じても、俺は絶対に従いません。
All three of them fell silent.
お願いを聞いてくれるなら俺何でもします。本当の本当に何でもします。だからどうかひばりさんのためにもお願いします。
I pleaded with them and bowed as deeply as I could. There wasn't anything else I could do but beg.
ナユタ、その俺たちは。
おい一夜お出されてんじゃねえぞ。
そうだね。ナユタの気持ちはわからなくもないんだけど。
じゃあ。
でも僕たちも人生かかってるし、やっぱりうなずいてあげられないや。ごめんね。
I can't believe I can't convince them to do this. I thought we all had the same strong feelings for Hibari.
もういいです。他の方法を考えます。
Feeling desperate, I tore out of there and ran to my bedroom.
驚いたね。ナユタがこの短期間であそこまで変わるなんて。
ああ、圧倒されてしまったよ。
あいつもようやく犬から男になれたってとこ
だからこそちょっと胸が痛むというか。
イチヤって変なとこで甘いよね。ここで甘やかしたら何の意味もないって分かってるでしょ。
Is this all a ploy? It would be nice if it was. Is grandfather playing games? Or...
ま、俺らが一肌脱いでやるんだ。あとはナユタの頑張り次第だろうが。
These three are definitely playing games.
つうわけで本番まではたっぷりいじめてやらなきゃな。腕が鳴るぜ。
考えるんだ俺。クリスマスまでもう時間がないんだから。
Folded my arms and groaned while walking around my room in circles. Easier said than done, though. My stupid brain couldn't come up with any real solution. Still, I gotta think of something. For the sake of Hibari's happiness. Round and round I paced. Just then, my foot bumped into something. I looked down at the floor, wondering what it was. Oh, hey. It was the belt I had when I was a child. I found it back when I was looking for that DVD with Hibari. I didn't want to put it back into storage, so I'd kept it out. Man, that rider belt really looks like a dog collar, doesn't it? Spikes and all. For some reason, I picked it up and studied it. This takes me back. Oh, I guess it wasn't really that long ago. Hibari laughed when I told her about this belt and all my memories. But soon she wouldn't be smiling at all.
お前ならきっと俺なんかよりもっとすごいヒーローになれる。どんな困難にもくじけず、最後は必ず勝利する。みんなを守るヒーローにな。
わかった。俺頑張るよ。一生懸命修行して、ご飯もいっぱい食べて、誰よりも強くなる。大事な人を守るために。
That's right. How could I have forgotten such a simple thing? Remember how you felt back then. Back then, my dreams were just empty ideals. Instead of some busted ideal, I found someone I wanted to protect even more. It's like what heroes say. Justice will prevail.
それでいいんだ。後がないならもう手段なんて選ばなくていいんだから。最後に勝てばいい。
I grasped the belt tighter and swore that to myself. Just then, my phone started ringing. Wondering who'd be calling at this hour, I checked the screen and...
はい、俺ですけど。
ナユタ、今すぐ身支度整えて表に出る。
Yeah, I think Grandpa's been playing games, hasn't he?
なんで？
いいから早くしろ。外で待ってるからな。
Either that or Kojiro is suddenly on our side. Actually, both of those things could be true. Wondered if my uncle had found out I went to the masters to talk with him in person. He was bound to find it out sooner or later.
説教されてる場合じゃないのに。
My newfound optimism deflated. I sluggishly started getting ready. Alternatively, Kojiro, yes. Okay, alternatively, Nayuta is getting kidnapped. That's, yeah. I want to believe in you. After days apart... maybe he is getting kidnapped. Nayuta finally realizes his feelings for me. He embarks on a course of action. I'll do whatever it takes to save Hibari. Just as I was getting all fired up, I received a phone call from my uncle. I then met him in front of the house and he took me to a nearby park.
おじさん。ねえ、おじさんってば。おじさん。もう、さっきからずっと黙ったままだよ。用があって呼び出したんじゃん。
I suddenly jumped back just as his fist grazed my right cheek.
ちょっとおじさん、何も言わないで始めたら危ないって。組手するなら最初に一言。
I stood there, ready to square off. He fixed his gaze on me for a moment, and then... he lowered his fists without a word. Then he said,
ご当主様のところに直談判しに行ったそうだな。なぜそんな真似をした？
So this is what he wanted to talk about. Although I knew there was no escaping his wrath, I still looked away to avoid the embarrassment that would come with my uncle's scolding.
だってそれは、ひばりさんが嫌がってたから、婚約のこと。
つまり、ひばり様がそうするようお前に命令したと。
違うよ。これは俺が勝手にやっただけ。
My uncle shook his head and sighed once he saw how frantic I was.
あのな、なゆた。お前は一体何様のつもりだ？いいか、よく聞け。ひばり様は今、早急に婚約者を決めなければならない状況であり、そういう立場の方なんだ。確かに事情が急に変わって、ご当主様が決定を下された。だが、あの3人の中から婚約者が選ばれることは当初からの決定事項だ。
でも、だって、ひばりさんは納得してない。
ひばり様がそう言ったのか？
でも、すごく悲しそうな顔してた。
She definitely looked reluctant. But she doesn't say that out loud. That's why she looked like she was in so much agony. I know because I've kept my eye on Hibari this entire time.
なら、なゆた。ひばり様のおっしゃった言葉を報告しろ。正確にだ。
それは。ご当主様の決定には逆らえないって。
Feeling helpless, I clenched my fists in frustration. My uncle spoke in a calm, admonishing tone.
あの方は、ひばり様は、お前よりも年齢は下だが、自分の立場をわきまえておられる。たとえ不満のある婚約だとしても、お家のためになる。そう思えば、必ず受け入れられるだろう。気に入らない人間は守れない。なんていうお前とはわけが違うんだ。
でもそれじゃ、ひばりさんがかわいそうだよ。
いい加減にしろ、なゆた。
My uncle shut me down so severely I couldn't say anything back.
これはお前が口を出していい問題じゃない。そもそもお前には口を出す権利がない。今のお前の立場は何だ？花婿でもない、護衛でもない。雑用係をしていられるのもお嬢様の温情があるからだ。分かったら二度と口を出すな。
You do get it! I totally do! It was all thanks to Hibari that I was able to stay at the vacation home. I was just taking advantage of it, I knew that for sure. But regardless, I clenched my fists again in shame. I clenched them so hard my fingers went numb.
ねえ、もしひばりさんが婚約したら、そしたら俺どうなるの？
そんなのお払い箱に決まってるだろう。まさか雑用係として居座れるとでも思ってるのか。ああ、それから一つ言っておくが、ひばり様はもうあの家には戻らない。
なんで？
ご当主様のお達しだ。婚約者披露パーティーの準備もあるし、これからは本家に戻って過ごされる。ついさっきお送りしてきた。
My eyes widened in surprise, and my uncle quickly tried to discourage me from doing anything.
いいか、ひばり様のご婚約はすでに決定したことだ。邪魔することは絶対に許さない。それからもう一つ、ご当主様やひばり様に直接お会いすることも禁止する。これを破れば八神の家とは金輪際縁を持てないと思え。
Did they re-accept him after he got cut off the first time?
今度この件に首を突っ込めば容赦なく実力行使で追い払う。分かったな。返事は？返事！
はい。
その言葉忘れるなよ。
He gave me one last fierce stare and turned away. Without saying another word, he left the park. Can Naito at least attend the party? Apparently not. Given that he is forbidden from meeting with either of the two most important people in the room. Now it was really over. I wasn't a suitor, I wasn't a bodyguard. I wasn't even allowed to handle odd jobs anymore. Now this means I was sure I'd never see Hibari again. The moment that thought hit me, my chest tightened and I couldn't breathe. It was as if some force was pinning my heart down. It was so painful I couldn't even speak. It hurts. The pain wouldn't go away even though I tried to wait it out. All I could do was grimace at the overwhelming, suffocating feeling. Hibari mode.
どうぞ、ひばり様。フルーツのフレーバーティーです。
Kasuga placed the cup in front of me. I said nothing and took a sip. Well, it certainly tastes as great as it smells. However, my frustration had reached new heights and wouldn't be quelled so easily.
ねえ、春日。
はい、何でしょう。
He smiled despite being able to sense my mood. How obnoxious.
ここ最近の話だけど、本家に戻ってきてからあまりに厳しいと思わない？
厳しい？例えば？
だってここ数日本当に学校と家の往復しかしてないのよ。
Can we invite Samugi and Noah to the party? Probably not. I imagine it's family only.
つむぎたちと遊びに行くのも禁止。ちょっとした寄り道もダメ。スマホまで取り上げるなんて。
Yep, no Samugi. And you were right, Drag. Hibari doesn't have her phone.
これってちょっとやりすぎだと思わない？
思いませんね、まったく。
Oh, you little!
婚約者披露パーティーまであと数日ですよ。それまでに何かあれば大問題です。学校に通えているだけ満足してください。
満足って、そんなの当然の権利じゃない。
ええ。ですから譲歩したのです。
Which I shouted. Kasuga just brushed me off. He's seen as the enemy. There probably wasn't any point in discussing this further. Or rather, doing so would just sap my strength.
で、その婚約者披露パーティーのことはどうせ何も教えてくれないんでしょ？
大旦那様のご意向ですので。
Kasuga's nonchalant reply really ticked me off. If that's the case...
わかった。ならいいわ。その代わり、春日、あなた個人に質問させて。
私にですか？
ええ、そうよ。おじいさまの決定を春日はどう思っているのか。
He contemplated what to say for a moment.
では少しだけ。まず結論から申し上げますと、大旦那様は最善の判断をされたと思っています。
So you do know who he's picked, Kasuga.
以前あなたにふさわしい夫の条件についてお話ししたのを覚えていますか？
ええ。
毒にも薬にもならずお飾りに甘んじる方、これにつきます。
Really? Shion? He's the decorative one. No matter how many times I hear it, it never stops being awful.
その点で言えば八神様は最適と言える人材でしたね。
Wait. Hearing his name come up suddenly took my breath away. Kasuga didn't care about that and continued talking like nothing was wrong.
彼の場合は間違っても東条家当主としてのあなたの仕事に口出しすることはないでしょう。
Is grandfather really playing games here? Hello, Hunter. I'm doing fine. How are you?
それに加えてあの八神一族きっての実力者、まあ多少難はありますが、それはいくらでも調教可能。
Trained?
最強の中堅としてひばり様を護衛していただけるのなら一石二鳥と思っていましたが、結局は彼の問題点の方が勝り、護衛としては力不足。例えるなら空気の入っていないタイヤのようなものでしょうか。
そこまで言わなくても。
I winced at his harsh words, but Kasuga just smiled cheerfully.
では逆にお聞きしますが、護衛のできない八神様が一体何の役に立つと？
それはあれよ。
なるほど、ペット代わりですか。
全然違う。
I snapped at Kasuga, then looked away.
大体私が彼を選んだ理由は護衛が欲しかったからじゃないわ。この人は絶対に私を裏切らない。私を信じて一生懸命に守ってくれる。そう思ったから。
In fact, Nayata believed in me with all his heart. He always faced problems head on and dedicated every fiber of his being to working through them. I had nothing else to say, so I just hung my head in disappointment. Kasuga let out a faint sigh.
それを言うのなら、私もあなたを心から信じて誠心誠意お守りしているつもりですが。
それは分かってるけど、でも春日は時々意地悪するし、それにすぐに秘密を作るでしょ。今回のことだってそう。
I scowled at him and Kasuga tried to smile. I could tell he was uncomfortable.
それは仕方ありません。 全てはあなたをお守りするため。そこ。
分かってる。そういうところはちゃんと信用してるし、そばにいてもらわなきゃ困ると思ってる。ただ、
Need her.
確かに私はペットになれる気はしませんね。
まだそれ言う？
Kasuga smiled slightly at me as I frowned.
ですが大旦那様の決定は絶対です。覆ることはありませんよ。
ちょっとくらい私に味方してくれてもいいじゃない。
いいえ、それとこれとは話が別です。
もう意地悪。
それに私が味方をするまでもなさそうですからね。
Grandpa's definitely taking sides, isn't he? Not taking sides. Playing games. He's playing games. He's picked Nayuta, hasn't he? But not told anyone, and he's going to make Nayuta work for it.
何か言った？
いいえ、何も。いけませんね。長話になってしまいました。私はそろそろ失礼いたします。あまり夜更かしはされませんよ。おやすみなさいませ。
Silence made me feel oddly lonely. Was it because I'd talked with Kasuga for so long? Or is it because I talked about him? Just speaking his name out loud sent a pain through my heart.
でも、ひばりさんはそれでいいんですか?
Yeah, Grandfather must have picked someone on the chance that Nayuta doesn't show up. That's true. That's true. He probably has a backup plan.
全然よくないわよ。
I threw myself onto the bed and tried to contain my anguish. Yeah, back over to Nayuta. It had been several days since the argument with my uncle. My head still felt a bit muddled. My daily life hadn't changed much. I still handled odd jobs as they came up.
ただいまです。卵とバターとコーラ買ってきましたよ。
And there they were. The guys usually sat apart from each other, but today they were huddled together, looking at some magazine and intently chatting about it.
いやでもこっちの方がいいんじゃないか。思い出にも残るし。
そんなのもらっても困るでしょ。それならこっちの方が色合いもデザインもいいと思うけど。
Are they looking at wedding dresses?
いや、やっぱこういう時はオーソドックスに。
皆さん何してるんですか?
ああ、ちょうどよかった。ナイタも一緒に見てくれる？
ギフト用品のカタログなんだけどね。婚約祝いに贈るには何がいいか相談していたところだったんだ。
Nope, just engagement gifts.
婚約祝い?
俺はこの夫婦茶碗がいいと思うんだけどよ。
渋すぎでしょ。食器系にするならせめてこっちのグラスセットの方がいい。
ナユタ、君はどれがいいと思う？
ちょっと待ってください。婚約祝いって
もちろんひばりちゃんのだよ。
俺たちのうちの誰が婚約者かはパーティー当日までわからないが、もし万が一選ばれなかったとしても彼女の婚約は祝ってあげたいだろ。もち
言ってろ。ま、そういうわけで祝いの品を3人で選んでたってわけだ。誰が選ばれても恨みっこなしってことでな。
Guys are totally okay with this. Regardless if Hibari hadn't sorted out her feelings, even if it was difficult, sad, and painful for her, even if she was about to burst into tears. Despite all that, they'll go through with this engagement if her grandfather chooses them. When I thought about that, I felt a throbbing pain deep within my heart. Tiger gave me an awkward smile as I clutched my chest.
おい、なゆた。お前もそろそろ納得しろ。ま、あんだけ懐いてたお嬢が嫁に行くってんだから、寂しいのもわからなくはねえけどな。にしても、俺たちの誰かがあのお嬢とイチャラブな生活を送るわけか。全く想像つかねえな。
おや、そうかい？俺の心はむしろ新婚生活のイメージ一色だけれどね。彼女との甘い生活が目に浮かぶよ。
うん。一夜の特技は料理と妄想だもんね。でも残念。僕の頭の中の一夜は空回りしすぎてひばりちゃんに呆れられてるよ。
おい、失礼な想像をするのはやめてくれ。そういうシオンだってパトロンの影をちらつかせて彼女を不安にさせるんじゃないか？
僕はそんなことしないよ。彼女が僕だけを愛してくれるなら僕だってちゃんとそれに応えるし。
いや、意外と俺のワイルドさに続婚になるって可能性もあるぜ。お嬢はウブだからな。強引に腕の中に収めちまえばおとなしく。
しません。ひばりさんはしないです。そんなこと。
Clenching my fists tightly, I looked down at the ground. Something weird's going on. Something super freaking weird. I feel strange. Something's going on with my chest and I feel so annoyed. That's called jealousy, Naita. I have no clue what's going on, but still.
しません。ひばりさんは。
Tiger smirked at me and then... For some reason, Tiger, Ichiro, and Shion had surrounded me.
なあ、なよた。お前が何をどう思ってるかは知らねえけどな。婚約者に選ばれたとしたら、そいつは一生お嬢といるんだぜ。俺たちが候補の時には、お嬢のそっけない態度でもそれなりにやってこられたが、一生誓い合う仲になりゃずーっとツンツンはしてらんね
え。Oh, I'm pretty sure she could be.
時間が経てば、あいつも本気にならざるを得なくなるってことだ。つまり
抱きしめたり
キスしたり、
もっと激しいことしたり、そういうことも当然するわけだ。わかるね。
Tiger's grin widened as he said that.
だからひばりさんはそんなことしないんです。日夜さんともタイガさんともシオンさんとも絶対にしませんから。
I snarled at them as fiercely as I could, and Shion looked at me curiously.
じゃあなゆた、聞くけどひばりちゃんは誰とならしてもいいの？そういうだって少し前は僕たちのことを彼女にすごく勧めてたでしょ？どうして今になってダメになったの？
それはだからそれはひばりさんが嫌がってるから
それってつまりひばりちゃん自身が選んだ相手なら僕たち3人の誰かとキスしても問題ない、そういうこと？だってそういうことだよね。なゆたはひばりちゃんが嫌がらない相手なら納得できるでしょ？
ちょっと待ってください。
Calm down, Naita. Calm down and think things out. First of all, the reason Hibari resents the situation is because her grandfather decided to partner himself, so that means if Hibari is okay with it, then there should be no problem, right? But what if that was the case? What if Hibari said she was okay with it? Then will Ichiro, Tiger, or Shion kiss her?
嫌です。絶対嫌です。そんなのは絶対嫌なんです。
The crippling pain surged through my heart again. Pain felt like it was squeezing me to death. It hurt, it was agonizing, and it made me dizzy. I still don't get what's going on at all.
絶対嫌だ。
I clutched my chest and winced at the pain, and the three guys started whispering to me.
それはなぜ？
俺らがダメなら他の誰なら納得するんだ。
ねえ、ナユタ、胸が痛いの？まだあの病気治ってないんだ。あの時原因についてよく考えてって言ったけど、どう？
I only shook my head. Shion smiled and muttered something about how he couldn't blame me.
それじゃあ胸に手を当てたまま目を閉じて。
I thought it was a strange request, but I closed my eyes and did as I was told.
ナユタ、今から言うことを頭の中に思い浮かべて。
はい。
じゃあ、行くよ。今、ナユタの前にはひばりちゃんがいます。ひばりちゃんはナユタの顔を見ると恥ずかしそうに赤くなっています。そんなひばりちゃんを見てナユタはどう思いますか？
Hibari sees me. She stared right at me and suddenly looked bashful. Of course she's...
可愛いです。ものすごく。
ナユタはひばりちゃんに今の言葉そのままを伝えました。するとひばりちゃんは恥ずかしがるようにますます頬を赤くします。そしてこう言いました。
ナユタくんもかっこいいわ。
Hibari just said that? About me?
かっこいい。
It felt like my cheeks were on fire. That's how hot my face was. And then the heat blazed through my whole body. My heart's beating like crazy. My heart didn't hurt at all. It wasn't painful or stressful. It actually feels kind of... good?
そしてひばりちゃんはこう続けました。
ナユタくん、大好きよ。
I think he exploded.
大好きよ。ナユタくん、大好きよ。
うわー！な
The guys looked at me with grins plastered on their faces while I held my head in my hands. But I didn't care about them anymore. Right now my heart, it was racing 200 times faster than before. If anything else happens, it'll explode. But I knew one thing for sure. I'd be so happy if Hibari told me she loved me. I'd be so happy I'd probably faint.
ねえ、ナユタ。ひばりちゃんを抱きしめたい？
キスしたいかい？
もっと激しいことしたいか？
はい。
My mind was still on fire, and the only person I could think of was Hibari. I want to see her. I absolutely, truly, madly, deeply want to see her. I have to see Hibari right now.
俺行ってきます。
I shouted at the top of my lungs and then dashed out of the living room at breakneck speed.
はあ、ほんと行動するときは一直線だな、あの打剣は。あ、春日か？暴走ワンコが飛び出してったから、あとはよろしくね。ったく、世話の焼けるやつだぜ。
Hibari mode.
宿題もしまったし、明日の準備も大丈夫。
It's really late. I should probably go to bed. I don't want to be exhausted after all. But my body refused to move. If I went to bed now, tomorrow would come, which meant the date would change. And then I'll be that much closer to the engagement party. And then... Did I just hear something? No, it must have been nothing. Just my imagination. Is he throwing rocks at the window? Or just knocking on it? Because he's probably capable of climbing. Well, I don't know how high up Hibari's room is. It wasn't my imagination. I definitely heard a tapping sound on the window behind those curtains. What? Who? It was nearly midnight. I couldn't think of anyone other than Kasuga who would come at this hour. But he would have no reason to tap on the window. Oh my gosh, what if it's a burglar? If so, I should definitely call Kasuga. Should I get him right now, or should I wait and see?
Dara, JJ, Sai, San.
I suddenly stopped breathing. That voice just now. That voice! I almost fell over from shock, but I pushed through it and rushed toward the sound in a hurry. Is this the CG movie? I drew the curtains and threw open the window. Drew the curtains is the wrong action. That's closing them. I think. Or is it both? And threw open the window, and there stood... Look at that CG! Oh my gosh! Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Hibari-san, こんばんは。来ちゃいました。
来ちゃいましたって。なんで？どうしてここに？
Nayata smiled awkwardly and fidgeted.
ひばりさんに会いたくて。
You wanted to see me? At that one sentence, my heart began to pound at a surprising rate. The shock was so incredibly strong. For a moment, I forgot how to do everything. Breathing, blinking, all of it. Nayata came here to see me. The realization took my breath away. But the moment was short-lived. He looked up at me, eyes filled with impatience.
「会いに来といてすみません。実はあんまり時間がないんです。警備を突破したのはいいんですけど、多分そろそろ気づかれる頃で。
突破？那由他君、一体どんな入り方を？
ひばりさん、お願いします。今は俺の話を聞いてください。
I stopped speaking once I saw how serious he was. It was the first time I'd seen such a determined, powerful look in his eyes. Naito locked his gaze on me and then calmly began to speak.
婚約のこと、ひばりさんの気持ちはあの時も今も変わってませんか？あなたは婚約を望んでない。本当は嫌だって思ってる。それで間違いないですか？
He was right. How nice it would be to say that. To be able to honestly agree and escape through the window. I probably would have been happiest with that. But I held back my sadness and looked away from him. I'm sorry. I can't say anything right now. But despite that, Naito continued speaking without taking his eyes off me.
もし今も同じ気持ちなら言ってほしいことがあるんです。
言って欲しいこと？
はい。助けてってそう言ってください。俺バカだし大人じゃないし、この婚約にどんな意味があるのかもよく分かってません。でもだけど俺バカだから、どうしたらもっとひばりさんの役に立てるか考えても分かんなくて。だから思ったんです。ひばりさんが笑ってくれることを基準に動こうって。このまま黙って見てたらひばりさんは笑えなくなるから。そんなの絶対俺は嫌なんです。俺はひばりさんの笑顔のために動くって決めたから。だからひばりさん、たった一度だけでいいんです。俺を信じてください。あなたが信じてくれたらきっと俺は何だってできます。だから言ってください。お願い。
Yuta. I truly wished I could abandon all the thoughts swirling in my head. Me as the Tojo heir, the point of getting engaged. This engagement didn't involve just me. I was very well aware of that. Many important things involving countless people were at stake in this engagement. After much deliberation, I said, I appreciate it. Would I guess be the right one here? Nope, 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 nope. We are not building that wall. We are not building that wall. No wall, no wall. I refuse. I guess the difference between I appreciate it, but... My words came out as a hoarse whisper. Nayata leaned closer to me.
どうしてですか？一言だけでいいんです。あなたが一言言ってくれれば、俺はそれだけで。違う
の。私が助けを求めたら、あなたはきっとどんなことをしても助けようとしてくれる。
Yeah, if she says that, he will fight everyone in this house. And he'll probably win. それはよくわかってる。But this wasn't a problem that could be solved by his actions alone. If that happened, he would definitely blame himself if things didn't work out.
お願い。分かって。那由他君。
Nayata listened intently to me. He didn't look away, he didn't even blink. I couldn't handle that level of intensity, so I turned away from him.
今日は来てくれてありがとう。すごく嬉しかった。でもごめんなさい。もう帰
なら嘘でもいいです。本当は本気がいいけど、でも本気じゃなくていいです。だから嘘でもいいから言ってください。
The passion of his words overwhelmed me. So much so that I couldn't hold myself together. My feelings threatened to rush forth, so I took a deep breath.
そんなことして何の意味があるっていうの？
聞きたいんです、ひばりさんの口から。聞いたら黙って帰ります。
でもそれは。
I cast my gaze down in bewilderment, but Nayata moved into my line of sight and looked right at me.
お願いします、ひばりさん。どうしても言ってくれないなら、俺ここから動きません。助けてって言ってくれるまで俺絶対に帰りませんから。わかりました。それじゃあこれはガーディアンごっこってことにしましょう。前にやってたのと同じです。だから全然本気じゃなくても嘘でもいいんですね。
We could pretend. All he needed to hear was to hear me say, "Save me." That was it. Those 2 words are enough to make Nayata happy. But I couldn't say them.
ひばりさん。
I wouldn't be pretending if I said it. So I absolutely couldn't do that. Not ever.
言ってください。お願いします。
The scene is really getting to me. That did it. I couldn't hold back anymore. I couldn't run from him.
助けて那由他くん。
はい。
His smile was so dazzling that it made me smile too, in spite of everything. I was on the verge of tears, but I tried my best to hold them back. Hibari's doing better than I am, then. Nayata saw that I was about to cry with happiness and looked pleased.
俺約束します。絶対ひばりさんのこと助けます。全身全霊をかけて助け出しますから。
嘘だからね。
ああ、そうだった。
本当に嘘だから。
I leaned towards him when I said that, and he smiled happily at me.
大丈夫です。分かってます。でもひばりさん、もし本当に助けられたら、その時はご褒美のキスをください。
Nayata's cheeks turned bright red as he grinned. He looked so adorable. I couldn't think of anything else.
本当ですか？
約束する。嘘だけど。
That's when someone abruptly knocked on my door, startling us.
じゃあ、俺そろそろ。
And then he took off in the blink of an eye. However, just before he disappeared into the darkness, Nayata looked back at me. His eyes were so sad that it felt like my heart would split in two. I was pretending, Nayata. Absolutely none of it was real. I repeated this to myself as I hurriedly shut the window and rearranged the curtains.
ひばり様、いらっしゃいますか？ひばり様。
I was so nervous I could hardly breathe. Kasuga just smiled at me.
まだ起きてらっしゃったんですね。明かりが見えたので、電気を消し忘れてお休みになったのかと。
違うの。明日の準備とかいろいろあって、だからもう寝るところ。
How much should Kasuga hear? I'm going for a reasonable amount of it.
そうでしたか。
His eyes fixated on something curiously. I followed his gaze and... I froze. I didn't close the window all the way. The curtains swayed in the breeze. I winced and Kasuga narrowed his eyes.
窓を開けられたのですか？この寒い時期に。
You gotta get fresh air into the room occasionally, even if it's freezing, Kasuga. It's not good for you otherwise. Even if it does mean letting out your carefully obtained heat.
そうよ。換気をしたくて。
そうですか。
そうよ。
Don't break eye contact, Tojo. I held my gaze steady and glared at him. He took one look at me and said,
では、締め忘れにはご注意を。暖かくしてお休みください。
He then simply turned and left. Somehow I managed not to get caught.
ああ、それから言い忘れていましたが。
まだ何か？
ええ、先ほどほんの一瞬ですが、警備システムがシャットダウンしたようです。ですが、すぐに復旧したので問題はないかと。
そう。
It was awfully good timing for Nayata sneaking in, but I wonder if he got out before the system came back on. Kasuga, did you turn the security system off?
ま、逃げ足の速い子犬一匹くらいなら大丈夫ですよ。では、私はこれで。
Just puppy? No, there's no way! I placed my hands on the open window and smiled slightly. Naoto was just here. He came to see me. He came here for me. A super-duper promise that I'll save you, Hibari. Silly boy. I gently closed the window, thinking about all the emotions welling up in me. Ooh, it's big event time! Big event time! My one and only guardian. The engagement announcement party is here. What will happen to me and Nayata? But before we jump into that, I need some more water. I will be right back. I'm back. Alright. Let's find out if Grandpa was only playing games. December 24th, the day before Christmas. The day has finally arrived. As planned, my family hosted the engagement party at a fancy hotel in Tokyo.
Hibari様、この度はご婚約おめでとうございます。
しかし、クリスマスイブに発表とは、高宗様もなかなかのロマンチストでいらっしゃいますな。
そうですね。
Hey, it's just red dress again. In reality, he was an old geezer who was far from romantic. But I maintained my affable smile to keep up appearances. I'm going to announce the engagement soon. What should I do? What about Nayuta?
俺、約束します。絶対ひばりさんのこと助けます。全身全霊をかけて助け出しますから。
I had been waiting anxiously for something to happen ever since that night. But there was nothing so far. They confiscated my phone, and when I asked Kasuga and Kojiro about him, they just dodged the subject. I didn't know how Nayuta was doing at all. I guess there wasn't anything he could do to save me after all. I couldn't get that thought out of my head. Even if I genuinely asked him to, how could he actually pull it off? It didn't matter how hard he tried. There were always going to be things he couldn't change. Maybe I shouldn't have said those words to him so carelessly.
Aja! Ay, Aja! 生きてっか?
I snapped out of it and found the 3 potential grooms standing in front of me.
浮かない顔だね。よかったらこれを飲むといい。
ありがとう。
I took the drink from Ichia and downed it in one gulp.
何か口に入れた方が落ち着くなら、向こうにプチフールがあったから持ってきてあげようか。
いらない。食欲もないし。
ま、気を楽にしとけや。本番はこれからだろ。今からキリキリしてっと持たねえぞ。
You're curious as to what clothes he's going to come and rescue us in? Yeah, is it going to be a fancy suit? Is it going to be very much not? I felt resentful of their cheery attitudes. The guys should have been a little more nervous. Whether they're bold or shameless, I kind of envy them.
おい、今なんか失礼なこと考えたろ。
別に。
愛が失礼なのは君の方だ。こういう場なんだからもう少し女性には丁寧に。
うっせえ、堅苦しいのは苦手なんだよ。
Yeah, I can tell you're not good with formal. No tie, top 2 buttons undone, sleeves rolled up.
タイガはどこでもタイガだから。あ、一夜、僕シャンパンが欲しいな。
ウェイターに言ってくれ。ここは家じゃないんだぞ。
Seeing them act like they always did made me relax a little. If Nayuta were here, they'd get even rowdier. Then I'd get fed up and angry, and if only I could spend all my time with them like that. But there's no way that could happen.
ねえ、ひばりちゃん。前にナユタが見てた DVD でね、こんなことを言ってたよ。ヒーローは遅れて登場するもの。だって、遅刻癖でもあるのかな。
そう。
DVD is he even talking about? And what does that have to do with anything right now?
ああ、あのヒーローものの。それならこんなセリフもあったよ。信じる気持ちが力になるって。
ああ、あったあった。で、最後の決め台詞はこれだろ。絶対的に愛は勝つ。
あの
My brow, wondering what in the world they were getting at. Shion grinned happily.
ナユタはその DVD が大好きらしいよ。君は今のセリフを聞いてどう思った？
Think? What the? I didn't get the point of the question. However, if I had to answer, then Nayuta probably likes them, or they sound pretty childish. I mean, Nayuta probably likes them, right? Yeah. There's a bigger sword! There's a bigger sword! There's a bigger sword! There's a bigger sword! Bigger sword! Bigger sword! The words rushed out before I could think more. All those lines were cliché to say the least. However,
ヒーローは遅れて登場するものです。なんて遅れてごめんなさい。信じる気持ちが力になるんですよ。だから俺のこと信じてください。絶対的に愛は勝つ。ねえ、ひばりさん。
reason, those kinds of lines felt right when Nayuta said them.
まあそうだね。ナユタならあんな狙いすぎのセリフも恥ずかしげもなく言えそうだ。
一夜には言われたくないと思うよ。
どういう意味かな？
Yeah, sorry, Ichiya, but Shion's right.
それよりその DVD が何？どうして今そんな話を？
ん？別に何もないよ。ただナユタは君のヒーローになりたいみたい。遅刻は良くないと思うけどね。
ねえ、シオンさん。
I was about to ask him what he was really trying to say when...
ひばり様、そろそろご当主様の挨拶、婚約者の発表が始まりますよ。
It was finally time. Kojiro smiled at me broadly, but I was tense all over.
どうぞあちらへ。
I looked back at the boys while being ushered away. They beamed and waved at me. This isn't some happy occasion for me. I gave them a sharp glare and left.
いよいよじゃな、ひばり。未来の夫が決まる。今の心境はどうじゃ？
Think. Grandfather gave me a big grin like he was provoking me on purpose. I stared daggers at him.
最悪な気分です。
ははは、そうかそうか。じゃが、その小憎たらしい顔はここだけにしておけ。壇上に上がった時は誰より幸せそうに笑ってみせろ。それがお前の役目だ。
分かっています。
Yes, I knew very well. I am Hibari Tojo, after all. The gets grew louder when they noticed Grandfather approaching the stage. I had been clenching my fists, but now I realized my palms were all clammy. There really is no getting out of this. Save me. I wish I hadn't said that, because doing so had gotten my hopes up. But it did make me happy to hear him say he would save me, even though he didn't make it in time. Even though he couldn't do anything about it. That wasn't Nayuta's fault. It wasn't an easy problem to solve. I didn't hold anything against him. I wish I could have seen him one more time, though. The guests erupted into thunderous applause when Grandfather took the stage. The announcement was finally happening. Everyone in the hall stared at him, full of anticipation.
ロハン会場の方々、まずはこの場にお集まりいただいたことに、ここ
After greeting the guests, Grandfather moved on to the topic at hand.
今日集まってもらったのは他でもない。我が孫、東条ひばりの婚約者を発表するためじゃ。一体誰が選ばれたのか。
Grandfather looked very pleased as he stood on stage. He sure is happy with himself, isn't he? My grandfather, who was always so impudent, had finally gotten his way. I felt so frustrated I had to bite my lip to stop myself from crying. But then... Ooh, alarm!
お嬢様、俺のそばから離れないように。
Nayata, did you set the fire alarm off? Suddenly, a loud alarm blared, sending the entire banquet hall into a tizzy.
何事じゃ、これは。
Grandfather wore a grim expression as guards immediately rushed to his side. I guessed it was an unexpected turn of events for him too, judging by his reaction.
小次郎さん、これは。
わかりません。今、外の者にも確認させてますが。
So not the fire alarm then. Oh, and a broken window. I heard the sound of a window breaking. Kojiro shouted into his earpiece as his eyes darted around the room.
おい、どうなってる？外の警備体制は？
おい、なんだねこれは。
Smoke grenade! Oh, we are going full hero on this one. I want to say sort of James Bondish. Some sort of smoke screen appeared out of nowhere. This isn't for the event, this is... Smoke instantly enveloped the banquet hall.
さあ、お嬢様、ご当主様と合流して外に。
I tried to escape, but I couldn't see because of the smoke and I didn't know where to go.
こっちです。
待って、見えない。
He pulled me by the arm, but I was so unsure of my footing that I stumbled.
お嬢様。
Right when Kojiro spun around to catch me... the smoke is suddenly, flashing green. What's going on now? Loud music blasted through the banquet hall and coloured lights illuminated the smoke. The flashy production confused all of us. It felt like we were transported to some kind of music venue.
良い子のみんな、楽しいショーの時間だよ。
Well, I mean, I guess in a room like this, that sort of stuff would be set up. It would be an option. Boys and girls? What? Where? What was with these ridiculous announcements? Oh, he turned up in the dog costume! No, I guessed that, but I didn't say it. I should have said it. Darn it. smoke began to clear. My eyes shot open when I saw the scene unfolding before me. There was a dog. It had an awfully big head, a strangely bulky body, and a kind of goofy face. Oh my gosh, it was the mascot suit Nagata used to wear. I was absolutely sure of it. Why are there so many of them? Dozens of mascots appeared in the hall, happily engaging with the guests. Nagata? He really did come for me. But which one is he? They were all totally identical. The dogs all wagged their bottoms, flailed their arms and legs, and danced around merrily.
もしかしてこれパーティーの演出なのかしら。
おお、そうかもしれませんな。サプライズとは粋なことをなさる。
The final task: find the real Nayada. Yep. I mean, if we step on all of them, we can work it out. No. The mistaken guests followed the mascots and began to dance, albeit with confusion. Is this some sort of fever dream? I scanned the banquet hall, and I saw a dog with exceptionally sharp movements dancing in a straight line coming toward me. There we go! That one! He came right up to me and gently reached out his hand. I couldn't see his eyes, but I could tell they were focused solely on me. Perhaps it's... No, this is definitely him, without question. My hand automatically shot out to take his, when... Suddenly I couldn't see the mascot anymore. My whole body went stiff. Kojiro had dashed in front of me and was now kicking and punching at the mascot. However, the mascot managed to dodge all his attacks. He moved athletically, unencumbered by the awkward suit. After he berated him, Kojiro shouted, Right on cue, the Yagami family bodyguards rushed over to us.
総員配置につけ、ご当主とお嬢様をお守りしろ。ふざけたなりをしているが、ここまでたどり着いた以上は相当の手だれだ。絶対に油断するなよ。ひばり様は俺の後ろに。
The members of the Yagami family quickly surrounded Nayata in his costume. This is about to turn into a horrible family feud.
なんだか騒がしいですわね。あれも演出の一環ですかしら。
なんというか、次々と。さすがは登場家というべきでしょうな。
These guests are, something else. No, that's not how we do it. However, nearly all the guests mistook the fight for a performance because of the dancing mascots earlier.
侵入者を全力で捉えろ。いいか、間違っても手加減なんかするなよ。はっ。
待って、その人は。
I tried to stop them, but it was too late. The powerful Yagami family all threw themselves at the mascot, meaning they went for Nayata.
バカな、すべて避けただと。
Nayata clasped his hands together and bowed at the guards who had collapsed on the floor. Then... As soon as he finished dodging, Nayata obliterated all of them one by one, throwing punches and kicks.
あのバカ相手じゃ他の奴らには荷が重いか。しょ。
Kojiro turned back to me.
申し訳ありません、お嬢様。しばらくここでお待ちください。すぐに戻りますので。
Should you feel sympathy for them? Nah. I'm sure Nayata didn't permanently injure them. I was about to take a step forward when someone pulled me back. I turned around in a panic, and there stood...
君のようなお姫様に戦場は似合わない。
ほら、退避だ退避。
はい、こっちに来て。
ちょっと
They pulled me over to the wall. I turned around to face the boys.
お願い聞いて。あの犬の着ぐるみ、中には。
まあ落ち着けよ、じゃあ。たまには何も言わずに見ててください。
I looked at Tiger in surprise. His smile indicated he knew everything. At the same time, people started cheering.
護衛の君、気合いだぞ、頑張れ。
まあそれじゃあ私はワンちゃんの方を応援しようかしら。頑張ってくださいな。
This is totally like a martial arts match or something.
やれやれ。まさかこんなとんでもないことをしでかすとは。こりゃ俺直々に説教。いや、お仕置きが必要みたいだな。
Nayata squared off with Kojiro. You could cut the tension between them with a knife. The guests and I collectively held our breath, and then... Nayata and Kojiro collided with a series of blows. Every time they exchanged punches and kicks, the sound was so loud that I was afraid they were breaking bones.
早すぎて目が追いつかない。
すげえな、あいつ。
ああ、さすがというか、なんというか。
確かに普段からあれだけのパワーが余ってたらいろいろと大変そうだよね。
おお、小次郎のやつめ、本当に手加減をしておらんな。目が本気じゃ。
おじい様？
Grandfather walked up next to me and nonchalantly watched the two of them attack each other.
これは
I have no idea what to say to get him to let Nayata off the hook. Grandfather smiled undaunted as I stammered.
面白い。どこの不届き者かは知らんが、東条の跡継ぎを連れ出そうとはいい度胸。だが、その相手をしておるのは、八神最強の男、小次郎じゃ。見ておれ、すぐに成敗してくれる。
Nah, I think Nayata's the strongest. Swift justice? My brow furrowed with worry.
おい、やべえぞ。
Tiger's voice caught my attention and I looked back at Nayata in a panic. Ooh! Right when I did, Kojiro landed a fierce kick, making Nayata rock back and forth. Nayata!
お願いおじい様、もうやめさせて。
なぜ止めねばならん。
立って。
Because the person in the suit is...
わしは止めんぞ、ひばり。たとえあの中身が誰であろうと。お前を連れ去るというのなら、それ相応の覚悟を見せるべきじゃ。小次郎ごとき倒せんやからになぞ、お前はやれん。
I bit my lip in frustration. All I wanted to do was run out there and support Nayuta. Just then, the crowd cheered again. Nayuta fell to his knees, then collapsed face first on the floor.
もう終わりか。大事をやらかした割に随分あっけねえじゃねえか。
He struggled to stand up and his footing seemed shaky. His body swayed from side to side and I worried he might topple over at any moment.
まあ当然じゃろうな。一流の護衛を相手にあんな格好で挑みに来るとはまさに自らハンデを背負っているのと同じこと。
Nayuta's going to lose.
パワーだ。パワーが足りてねえ。
Yeah, we need to be cheering for him, Hibari.
そうか。信じる気持ちが足りてないのか。
このままじゃ遅刻ヒーローで終わっちゃうね。
They're all spouting nonsense. Have they all gone mad at a time like this? But then Tiger shouted to me.
よしよしよ。今こそお前の出番だぜ。必殺パワー注入だ。
ヒーローが進化するためには君のエールが必要なんだ。
エール？
大丈夫。今の君の気持ちをストレートに伝えればいいから。
そんなこと言われても。
Nayuta finally lowered his defensive stance, since he was at a complete disadvantage. Kojiro ran up to him without a moment's delay, spun around, raised his leg for a kick and...
お嬢、早くしろ。
Yep, it's time for the barricade battle. So it's whether this wins or fails, basically. Okay, we did actually provide a fence. That's the opening theme, isn't it? Kojiro came after him with a fierce roundhouse kick. Nayuta guarded it just in time, but... the force of the kick pushed him back, and the weight of the costume's head made him lose balance and fall backward. The moment I saw that happen, I ran to his side without giving it a second thought. I didn't even think before shouting. I gasped as soon as I realised I'd just yelled his name out loud. Oh, whatever. It doesn't matter. I couldn't tell if Nayuta was conscious or not because of the costume. I was frustrated that I didn't know what he looked like right now or how he was feeling. He didn't respond, but I knew he could hear me. If belief gave him power, then I believed in him with all my heart. The moment I got the words out, his costumed arm touched my foot gently, like he was patting it. I understood what he was trying to say. Step on me. I only hesitated for a moment. Then I cast away my shame, lifted my leg up and... Whoops, accidentally skipped the end of that line. I stomped on the soft and fluffy belly of the costume with all my might.
充電 200%!
Well, Nayata got what he wanted. He got stepped on. With a mysterious war cry, Nayata leapt up with great energy and started running like a bat out of hell. And directly in front of him was... Kojiro tried to brace himself, but Nayata was faster. Nayata punched Kojiro square in the face with all his might, blowing the bodyguard away. Ooh, that's broken a nose. All of us watched with bated breath. Kojiro lay on the floor and didn't so much as move a muscle. Tiger quickly walked over to Kojiro, checked him and shouted,
Nokata!
He won? Nayata won!
さあ、ひばりさん。君のヒーローが待っているよ。
言ってあげて。ナイタ頑張ったんだから。
The two of them nudged me from behind. Nayata was fumbling to take his mascot head off. I was about to go over to him when...
改めてマイクテスト。
I heard a horrible noise.
いかがだったじゃろうか。わしが用意したとっておきの余興は。
Everyone in the room looked shocked as Grandfather took to the stage and spoke into the mic.
先ほどからのアクシデントや手に汗握るファイト。今。
Then he briskly walked over to Nayata and announced in a booming voice.
この者こそが我が孫娘ひばりの婚約者八神那由他じゃ。
There we go. He raised Nayata's arm into the air like he was crowning a champion. The guests began buzzing about the bombshell announcement. My fiancé? Nayata was left with a vacant look on his face. He didn't seem to know what was going on either. I was so gobsmacked I couldn't move, but Grandfather just smiled happily at me.
何をしておるひばり。さっさとこっちに来んか。未来の花婿がお待ちかねじゃぞ。
My future... What now? Huh? Nayata? Him? What was going on? I felt so utterly disoriented.
ひばりさん、俺勝ちましたよ。
Nayata shouted my name with a big smile on his face. Apparently, he wasn't concerned with understanding the full situation. He looked so happy and proud. Just like a true hero. Oh my gosh. There's so much I want to say, but none of that matters anymore. I couldn't restrain myself any longer and ran straight for him. The moment I jumped into his arms, the crowd burst into uproarious applause. Oh. The tumultuous party ended, and the guests began to head home. The boys, however, weren't done yet. They were still having a good time standing around and talking. You'd have liked to see GF Nayata hugging Hibari in that costume. Same. So fluffy.
本当だね。うまくいくかヒヤヒヤしたけど、なんとかなって本当に良かった。
でも結構楽しかったよ。僕、誰かの恋の後押しなんてしたことなかったし。
勢ぞろいじゃな。
なんだじいさん、もうそっちはいいのかい？
構わん。秘書がうまくやるじゃろう。それより今回はよくやってくれた。お前たちにとってはそんな役割だったかもしれんが。
野暮なこと言うなよじいさん。俺らだって分かってるって。
そうですね。ひばりちゃんの気持ちもなゆたの気持ちも分かりやすかったし。
彼女はともかくなゆたはあれで本人は無自覚だったんだからね。同じ男として情けない限りだよ。
なに、八神の血筋じゃろう。全く気づいとらんかったのがここにもおるからな。
おっさん、元気出せや。
なーにむくれとるんじゃ。いい年してこれっぽっちも可愛くないぞ。
可愛くなくて結構ですよ。ええ、ひどくないっすかご当主。今日のパーティーのこともなゆたとお嬢様の気持ちのことも教えといてくださいよ、普通に。
Yeah, grandfather really was just playing games.
気づかんお前が悪いのじゃ。みんな気づいとったもの。鈍いにも程があるわ。それに負けおったしな、おいっ子に。
ぐさ。
誰じゃったかのう。これでも八神最強の男なのでとドヤ顔しとったのは。
ぐさぐさ。
わしの護衛は頼りになるのう。なあ小次郎よ。
返す言葉もござい
まあ小次郎さんはきっと無意識に加減してくれてたんですよ。
可愛がってたもんね、なゆたのこと。
そりゃまあ豆粒みたいなガキの頃から見てきたわけですし。
おお、そんな豆粒が婚約か。すっかり抜かれてしもうたの。腕も嫁も。
ご当主
じいさん輝きすぎだろ。
ああ、皆様ここにおられたのですね。
お、春日、お前も来たのか。
ええ、準備万端整えてまいりました。
ご苦労であった。
ひばり様のためですから。少々複雑ではあります
がそういうなって。お前だってなんだかんだで協力してたじゃねえか。
古今東西、泣くこと動物には勝てないものと決まっておりますし。
ああ、真理。
それよりあの二人は大丈夫かな。まさかこの後に及んでこじれたりしないんだろうか。
大丈夫じゃないかな。
その根拠は？
だってほら、なゆたは彼女だけのヒーローだからね。
それじゃあなゆたくんも婚約のことは知らなかったの？
はい、俺はただひばりさんの婚約をぶち壊しに行くつもりで。
Yeah, both of you got played by everyone. But it turned out in your favor, so. Everyone encouraged us to go back to the vacation home ahead of time. So we were figuring out what happened in the car.
あ、でもそれ以外はタイガさんたちにすっごく協力してもらったんですよ。作戦練ったり台本を覚えたり。
Script.
台本?
Alarm bells started going off in my head, so I asked for more details. He said that the boys told the mascots exactly what to do and how they should perform.
覚 えるの大変でした。
I really wanted to tell him that this wouldn't normally be right. But since everything had worked out for the best, I felt conflicted about it in a way I couldn't describe. How in the world did they come up with this? Surprisingly, Nayata responded just then with uncanny timing.
婚約パーティーの話があったすぐ後、一夜さんたちは全部の事情を聞いて協力するって決めたそうなんです。わざとひばりさんにくっついたり、俺に意地悪言ったりとかも全部狙いだったって。
どうして？
俺も聞きました。なんでって。
あ？どうしてもこうしても。
なんというか、もう見ていられなくて。
君たちってほっとけないとこそっくりだよね。僕が世話を焼きたくなるってよっぽどだよ。
Should probably thank them again. It might be a little complicated, though.
でもすごくいい人たちです。
Nayata smiled shyly as he said that, and I nodded slightly in agreement. We arrived safe and sound. I got out of the car and took a moment to look at the vacation home. How strange. It feels like I've come home.
ひばりさん、中入りましょう。
Nayata smiled, then took my hand and walked toward the front door.
ひばりさん、家の中に入ったらきっとすごくびっくりしますよ。
Oh?
びっくりって？
入ってからのお楽しみです。
Though I was confused, Nayata cheerfully tugged my hand and we walked into the house. When we turned on the lights... Ah, it's been decorated for Christmas! An explosion of adorable decorations adorned the house. It was like Santa's interior decorator had paid us a visit. A big Christmas tree lit up one corner. I can see two Christmas trees now, one on screen and one next to my screen. And a veritable feast lined the table from end to end.
昨日みんなで飾り付けしたんですよ。ひばりさんが帰ってくるからって。料理は春日さんが手配してくれました。
Can't believe it. He's such a sneak, mean and calculating. But I guess that's because he's a loyal butler in every respect. Thinking about it brought a smile to my face. Besides, the decorations were perfect. I was certain the guys didn't even consider the possibility of Nayata's plan failing when they did all of this. They didn't doubt that Nayata and I would be standing here smiling. They believed in us. I was kind of embarrassed, but thinking about all that warmed my heart.
すごく綺麗ね。本当にびっくりした。
でしょでしょ。ほら、こっちも見てください。これは俺とタイガさんで飾ったんです。
かわいい。
それでこっちが。
We held hands and circled the room, looking at all the decorations.
ありがとう、ナエタくん。彼らにもお礼を言わないと。
ひばりさんの笑顔を想像しながら準備したんで、俺も今すごく嬉しいです。なんかちゃんとひばりさんと一緒にいるんだって実感できて。
nearly wanted to regret what he. I nearly wanted to reject what he was saying. I feel so happy I could burst.
ありがとう。私のために用意してくれて。
My blushing must have been contagious because Nayata turned bright red.
ああ。いえ。その。はい。
The silence in the room seemed to underscore the fact that once again, after all this time, the two of us were alone together. There are so many things I want to talk with him about. I've got a never-ending list of things I want to ask. Plus all the things I need to tell him.
あの。
Both our cheeks immediately turned red when we spoke at the same time.
あ、先にどうぞ。
そう？それじゃあ。
I took a deep breath.
鎌倉の本家で過ごしている間、すごく寂しかったの。ただ、前と同じ生活に戻っただけなのに、いつの間にかここでの生活に馴染んでたのね。
ああ。ここっていつも誰かしらいて賑やかですもんね。
まあ、それもあるけど。だから、那由他くんがいなかったから。
My face flamed with embarrassment. But I didn't want to look away.
だから、あの日、那由他くんが来てくれたのが、本当に嬉しかったの。
俺、約束します。絶対ひばりさんのこと助けます。全身全霊をかけて助け出しますから。
あんなに嘘だって言ったのに、本当に助けに来てくれたし、改めてありがとう、那由他くん。
ひばりさん。
Nayata just blinked over and over. Then he also took a deep breath.
あの日、鎌倉に行った日、一夜さんたちと話してて、それで、その時気づいたんです。全部気づいたら、そしたら、どうしてもひばりさんに会いたくてたまらなくなって。
気づいたって何に？
それは、俺がひばりさんのことを女の子として見てたんだって。
I kept my eyes on him, desperately fighting off the urge to look away in embarrassment. He was blushing too, and I was sure he felt the same as I did. Without turning away, Nayata continued to let his words flow forth.
最初は理想のご主人様だって思ってたんです。護衛するならこの人だって。その次はご主人様とかじゃなくて、ただこの人を守りたいって、そう強く思ったんです。でもそのうち護衛としてだけじゃなくて、東條ひばりさんっていう一人の女の子を男として守りたい、ずっとそばにいて笑顔にしたいって。だからつまり
Nayata drew in a huge breath and...
好きです、ひばりさんが。
The words were simple and to the point, but they were what I needed to hear most.
不器用なところも、人との交流が苦手なところも、怒りっぽいところも、意外と泣き虫なところも、誰かのために勇気を振り絞ることができるところも、いいところも悪いところも全部ひっくるめて、あなたのことが大好きです。
The passion was so intense I thought he might explode. I didn't expect him to have such a breakthrough and state his feelings for me so unreservedly. Now, I need to say it back. The same way he did. No, with more feeling.
私も那由他くんが好き。
I spoke with all the courage I could muster. Nayata looked a little stunned, but then...
やったー両思い
I'd never seen him happier.
一生何があっても守ります。可愛くて大好きなあなたを全部丸ごと。この権利は誰にだって渡しませんからね。
I nodded, and Nayata's smile lit up brighter than before. Grandfather revealed at the party that Nayata was the Tojo family heir's fiancé. But more than that, he was my one and only. I continued to stare into his eyes, my heart pounding with excitement. And we are either going to get a kiss now, or the other boys are going to get back.
俺
And then, as if he couldn't bear me looking at him, he promptly began to freak out.
ああ、そうだひばりさん、お腹空いてません
I guess this is the other option. Nayata gets so embarrassed that he tries to deflect the conversation.
せっかくだし、ごちそう食べましょう。ね、こんなにいっぱいあるんだし。
He looked away.
どれがいいですかね。どれも美味しそうで迷っちゃうな。お、これすごく美味しそうですよ。俺が取ってあげますね。
An incredible urge overtook me in that moment. I wanted to tease this sweet, innocent man of mine. Nayata reached for the food, and I...
那由他くん
Nope. Kiss initiated by Hibari! By surprise! Excellent. Love it. He turned to look at me, and I stole a kiss from him. It felt both loving and vicious. Equally and abundantly so. Nayata's surprised. But I had no desire to see his expression or do anything else. It's like I can't tear myself away. The softness of his lips, the warmth of his body, the faint breath escaping from his lips. I could tell he was looking at me even though my eyes were closed. All of it made my heart pound faster. My heartbeat reverberated through my body as my face flushed with heat. All the passion coursing through my body made me fully aware of what it was like to kiss him. This is my first kiss. My first kiss was a reward for my very own hero. Oh, he's so red. It feels like Nayata's getting warmer. Apparently, he was slowly figuring out what was happening, too. The way he responded told me so. He was so hot he might as well have had a fever. Then, our lips parted for just a moment.
今のって。
約束したでしょ
I was just as embarrassed for him to see me this way. So I could only whisper it to him.
大変よくできました
Then I kissed him one more time. Ending theme!
初めて感じる想い空が
So do we have 2 scenes of epilogue? Or did the game just take us through those scenes by itself? That's the question. Adorable little chibis. No, Naita! $2.5K. Thank you for the conversion. The future with Naita begins. I've got a whiz message. Title gallery whiz. That doesn't sound like we're going back to the barricade board.
今日もご婚約者様と一緒なのね。仲睦まじいこと。
Epilogue, let's push through to the end.
カバン行ってらっしゃいませ。帰りにまたお迎えに行きますね。
ええ、ありがとう。あら、ひばり様。おはようございます。今日もヤガミさんとさすがラブラブですわね。そう見える？ええ、もちろんですわ。みんな羨ましそうに見てますでしょ。なんでもないの。行きましょう、つむぎ。
After Naita and I got engaged, he officially became my bodyguard. That's why he accompanied me to and from school every day. The girls there who heard about our engagement looked at us with warmth and kindness. I'm definitely happy, but I let out a heavy sigh. This was supposed to be a happy ending with everything tied up in a neat bow, but now there was another darn snag. After class, I headed for the main gate to leave. As usual, Naita was waiting for me.
お帰りなさい、ひばりさん。今日もお疲れ様でした。
ええ。
I smiled awkwardly and got into the car without prompting. I see he's doing work mode again.
はい。
なんでそんなに離れて座るの？狭くない？
全然。
そんなに体を縮めてるのに？
屈伸運動をしてるだけです。
車の中で？
いつでも鍛えておかないとなので。俺、護衛ですし。
I was annoyed at how Naita refused to look at me. I reached out my hand to his without him noticing, and...
何するんですか？
いきなり大きな声出さないでよ。ちょっと手に触っただけじゃない。
Yeah, Naiter is very aware of his feelings now.
手とかそんなダメです。不健全です。
はあ？
俺まだ手洗ってないのでお願いですから触らないでください。
Oh my gosh, what is wrong with him? Naiter turned beet red and began to tremble pitifully. I buried my head in my hands. This was the new problem that had cropped up.
ただいま。
ああ、おかえり。
Everyone's still here.
じゃあ俺着替えてくるんで。
あのバカ、逃げ足ばっか速くなりやがって。お嬢も苦労すんな。てか俺らもか。
付き合わせてごめんなさいね。
いや、まあいいけどよ。このままじゃお嬢も困るだろう。
Oh, the others are around so that Naiter doesn't completely freak out. We both sighed at the same time.
引っ越し？
ああ、花婿が決まった以上、いつまでも居座るわけにもいかないしね。
あとは若いお二人でだっけ？お邪魔はしたくないからね。
照れるな照れるな。いいじゃねえか。二人きりになったらラブラブし放題だぜ。
ちょっとやめてよ。私たちは別に。ナイタ君？
ダメです。
何がだい？
ダメです。みんな行かないでください。二人きりなんてダメです。俺絶対死んじゃいます。無理。
無理？
なあユタ、落ち着いて。何が無理なの？
ひばりさんと二人きりだなんて俺の心臓が壊れて弾けてボーンです。毎日が命日です。
お前何言ってんだ。いやマジで。
とにかく出て行かないでください。俺のこと捨てないでタイガさ
ん。遅れてきた思春期みたいな。前はあれだけベタベタしてたってのに今じゃ。
仕事モードの時はかろうじて、それ以外の時は目も合わせてくれない。
意識するにも程があるだろう。あいつあれでも成人男子なんだぞ。
His illness has advanced to stage 2. Yes. That's right. After we got engaged and told each other our feelings, that's when he finally actually felt it. And Naiter imploded.
婚約者って恋人で、つまりそれは俺はひばりさんのもので、その逆もそうで、俺はひばりさんが好きで、ひばりさんも俺がそれまずくないですか？なんかものすごくやばくないですか？だって好きってああ、無理そんなの幸せすぎて俺が死ぬ。
All we could do was sit there and watch with reluctant support as Naiter had his meltdown.
私としては一向に問題ありませんが。
どこが？
この上なく安全ではありませんか。警護の仕事はきちんとしているようですし、いっそしばらくあのままで。
そんなの私が耐えられないわよ。
Kasuga sighed.
欲求不満ですか。少しは八神様を見習って静粛に恥じらいを持ってはいかがですか。
his Nayata allowed in here now. Even if he was, I don't think he'd be physically capable of it right now.
私まであんな風になったら、それこそおしまいだと思うわ。
I chase after him, Nayata runs away. I run away, Nayata runs away too. We'll never be on the same page.
ひばり様、何事もほどほどにですよ。飢えた野獣のような目をしてらっしゃったので。
大きなお世話よ。
I kicked Kasuga out the room as fast as I could. But we really can't keep doing this forever. Because it was just so darn lonely. Oop, Nayata mode.
よし、誰もいない。はあ、何してんだろう俺。このままじゃひばりさんに嫌われちゃう。わかってるのに。でも顔を合わせるだけで心臓が爆発しそうになるし、なんか恥ずかしいし。
へえ。
Caught.
なゆたくん。逃がすか。
Pin him to the wall.
私とお話ししましょうか。なゆたくん。
落ち着いてください。
あなたが落ち着いて。
Sounds like she's semi-turning into Samugi. Well, she has a good teacher in that regard. Seeing Nayata so completely frightened made my hackles rise. These things usually play out the other way around. Yep, this is a rare inversion of the Kamenon. In the manga Samugi showed me, the guy and girl were in this position but reversed. But now wasn't the time to be thinking about that.
目を開けて、私を見て。
無理です。
いいから見なさい。
はい。
Why does he have tears in his eyes? I hated myself for thinking that made him look even cuter. I glared at him for being frightened, but then started speaking as calmly as I could.
私の言いたいことわかる？
Nayata nodded his head yes. I was glad he at least realized it on his own.
恥ずかしいのね。まあ、わかるわ。私だって照れるもん。少しくらいなら慣れるまで待っててあげようと思ったわ。けどね、もうそろそろいいんじゃないかしら。
俺もそれは分かってるんですけど、無理で。
Yeah. Sorry, Barry. You're going to have to be the one to make the moves here. Can't? That was the last word I needed to hear right now.
そうね。私も無理だわ。なんで恋人にここまで避けられて無理とまで言われて我慢してなきゃならないの？私だっていい加減無理なの。わかる？
ごめんなさい。でも俺どうしても恥ずかしくていろいろ耐えきれなくて。
謝らなくていいから慣れて。今すぐちゃんと目を合わせて話をして、手くらい普通につないでいっそ抱きしめて。無理は禁止。もうその言葉は聞きたくない。寂しいって言ってるの分かってよ。
ひばりさん。
焦るわけじゃないけど、せっかく一緒にいるのに避けられるのはすごく寂しいの。少しずつでもいいから慣れて。でないと笑えなくなっちゃう。
He said that deliberately, knowing those words would work best on Nayuta.
それはダメです。
Sure enough, he responded with a deeper sense of urgency.
ひばりさんの笑顔のためなら俺頑張りますから。
本当に？もう顔を背けたり逃げたりしない？
根性で踏みとどまります。俺だってずっとこのままは嫌だから頑張ります。すごい恥ずかしいですけど、今もちょっと心臓とかかなりヤバいことになってますけど、俺ちゃんとひばりさんのこと好きだから。
那由他くん。
My heart soared with joy when I heard those words. But then...
那由他くん？なんだか顔色が。
Why is his face so red? Because he's a masochist, Hibari. He's enjoying this. He is very much enjoying you pinning him to the wall. Nayuta's complexion was, quite frankly, looking pretty bad. He was beyond blushing.
那由他くん？
俺ちょっともうだいぶ限界かも。
ちょっと、那由他くん、那由他くん。
俺らいつになったら引っ越しできんだろう。
Another whiz message. Oh, and I do believe we're done.
Barricade. New stage.
Let's go look at those whiz messages though.
見るか？
Whiz.
愛のメッセージ受け取ってくれたかな？
So, kindest regards. And will it be on what? Wait, what? That's not even Nayuta talking, is it? And will it be on words you chose my oath of a nephew for your fiancé? I'm certain he will cause you no end of trouble, but I hope you'll be kind. Am I speaking with Mr. Kojiro? Pardon me, miss. Yes, this is Kojiro. It's been a while. I was worried about my nephew's incompetence. So I figured I'd borrow his phone for just a moment. Nayuta hasn't caused you any grief lately, has he? No, it's fine. He's been his usual self. And that's what worries me the most. I'm so sorry for all the extreme inconvenience he causes you, miss. It's alright. And I'm sure he'll go on causing problems for both you and the Tojo family for some time. I wouldn't say that. I would. I'm his uncle, miss. I know him well. With him, it's when, not if. Maybe, but Nayuta gives everything an earnest effort. think that's one of his finest points. Really? You're too kind, miss. Far, far too kind for that doof Naita. No! If he gets into something, just call me ASAP. I promise that I'll dole out the strictest punishment he deserves. Oh. He may have gotten the upper hand at the party, but I'm still better. Don't hesitate to call. Hey, Uncle, would you quit scolding me? Naita? Sorry, Uncle's been super worried about a whole lot for some reason. Even though I won. I'm sure it just means he cares about you very much. Really? I don't know. Still, it'll be okay. I promise I'll never do anything that will make you cry. Naita? And besides, I made up my mind. The only person who's allowed to scold and stomp on me is you, Hibari. Kojiro, when something happens, you'll be the first one to know. Huh? Oh, why? Hibari! Hibari! Hello? Don't ignore me! Okay, and I'll do my best. Hibari, today I was able to look at you for 3 seconds. Tomorrow I'm going to try for 5. Wish me luck. Nope, try again. Huh? You're just going to look? Is that bad? Just looking isn't enough. Really? Uh-oh. What should I do? If I tell you, will you do it? I'll try my best. Call me. And say you love me. Huh? I do love you. And call me. I love you? Call me. It's still way too soon for me. I love you, Hibari. I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you too. Now try saying that directly to my face tomorrow. I'll try. There you go. Oh, this doofus. This darn idiot. It looks like we can look at the barricade board. There we go. They were called Reward for Protecting Me. Naita and I are finally engaged, though it took a lot of work. He's suddenly enthralled by me. It's very cute. And I absolutely can't. I expected a sweet and romantic life as lovers, but Naita's attitude is driving me nuts. There you go. And this is the bad ending. Anyway, we are done. We've got the good ending and we are done. So, on that note, thank you very much for watching. It's been adorable. If exasperating. If you're new here and you've enjoyed your time, please consider subscribing to the channel. You can also follow me on social media, which is linked in the description box. The streaming schedule for the channel goes up both over there on social media and over here on YouTube in the posts tab of the channel. I went to double check I'd done that. I have. I'm off tomorrow for New Year's travelling. So, Happy New Year for Thursday. And I will be back with you on Saturday. Saturday, 7 PM to try and finish this part of Book 7 in Twisted Wonderland. Hopefully I can make it. But I'll see you then, or another time. Once again, thank you very much for coming. And this is Kalla signing out. See ya. Bye bye.